Hey guys, so this is going to be my weekly update video. So basically I'm going to be talking to you about current reads that I've got and any other bookish updates that I've got for you for what's going on in my bookish life. So I guess I can just jump right in. I'm currently reading 3 different books right now. I like to read in multiple formats at once. So we'll start off with my physical book that I'm reading. Currently, I'm physically reading Scythe. And as I'm sure you all know, because this is obviously a well-known book, like everybody knows what Scythe is about for the most part. But in case that you are out of the loop or starting late like me, because I obviously hadn't checked it out yet, it is a book about a young teenager. Well, what does it say is the description? Okay, yeah, it's about humanity has conquered... Oh, I can set it right there. That's cool. Okay, so it's about humanity has basically conquered death. So people don't die of natural causes anymore. So it is about people training to become scythes and what it's like to be a scythe, which is basically just the bringers of death in their society. And about what that means for your place in society, basically. And then basically exploring that whole idea. So I'll show you, I'm about 50% of the way through the book, almost, and I am loving it. It's so great, and I already own the sequel. Funny enough, I thought I owned book 1 a month or so ago, and so I bought the sequel thinking like, oh great, now I can read them back to back. But I didn't actually own book 1, I just thought I did. So then I finally went and I ordered it from my bookstore because they didn't have the hardcover in stock and I prefer hardcovers. So I did end up getting, obviously, the book since I'm reading it now a couple of weeks ago. So then I started it and I've just been kind of like slowly working my way through it because I've got multiple reads at once. So I am definitely enjoying it, and me taking my time with it does not mean that I'm not loving it, because I definitely am. So then I'll move over to my audiobook that I'm currently reading. So I'll just plug that right here. It's Spin the Dawn, or oh wait, nope, not audiobook. That is the this right here is actually the ebook I'm currently reading, not the audiobook. And I am loving this one as well. It's kind of, what is it described as? The thing that they've been using to describe it is that it's Mulan meets Project Runway. If that doesn't sound appealing to you, then that's fine, because I don't know that I entirely agree that it's Mulan meets Project Runaway, but I can kind of see the vibes of each that they've got going on. The Project Runway probably element comes in because there's like a series of competitions, and so that's the Project Runway, I'm guessing, like to prove your skill in the area, like the field of expertise. And then the Mulan part is because, of course, it's a woman who's told that she can't do something because she is a female and trying to do it anyways, even though it's a men's only kind of thing. So that's where the Mulan part comes in. So basically the idea is it's Spin the Dawn, and she is very interested in sewing. And sewing, not just sewing, like embroidery, any sort of cloth work. I can't remember what exactly. Seamstress. She wants to become a great seamstress, but it's not called a seamstress because that's a female name. Basically, they kind of like flipped it on its head, where only men are allowed to do this sort of work instead of women. And actually, you can't become a master of the craft if you're a woman. You can only be like, I don't even think you can become an assistant. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I'm about 34% of the way through this book, and I say about because I literally clicked in there and was stopped reading the book to film this video. So I'm focusing on that one right now. I like to switch my focus between the 3 books I'm currently reading, or however many it happens to be at that time. It's amazing, and Tamora Pierce, who's one of my favorite authors and kind of like the OG of like YA fantasy novels and anything feminist as well. She's like an amazing feminist author, and if you haven't checked her out, you totally should, because she is amazing, and I highly recommend starting with her Elena series. The first book is called Elena. I think it's called, well, I remember the name of each book, but I'm like trying to remember what exactly the series itself is called. She has a series of quartets that are all about the same land. So yeah, anyways, that's not Spin the Dawn, but it reminds me of Spin the Dawn, and Tamora Pierce recommended it and did like the blurb on the cover of the book, and it is, anything that she puts the blurb of honestly is great to check out. I haven't read all of the ones, of course, that she's put a blurb on, but definitely they're all on my, like, the back burner of books I would like to get to at some point, because I just really respect her as an author and her opinion, and I think she's amazing. So then the audiobook that I'm currently reading is right here, and it is Sea Witch Rising. So I actually just finished Sea Witch yesterday, and so then I immediately went and I went and bought 3 Audible credits, and I bought a couple of books, but one of them was the Sea Witch Rising, and of course I'm really loving both of the books in the series, and because I went out and immediately bought the sequel. And that's the great thing about like audio and ebooks, is when you've got it in that format, you can immediately go out and buy the sequel when you finish, no matter like what time of day it is, no matter where you are, you can get that sequel. So that's great, that I love. And I don't like to have like multiple formats of books. If I bought it in one, I probably won't buy it in the other. But actually there are some exceptions. So anyways, Sea Witch is about because the sequel is the one I'm reading, so I'm going to tell you about what the first book in the series is like instead. So it is, on its surface, it is a retelling of, or reimagining, maybe is a better way to word it, a reimagining of The Little Mermaid. But book 1 is a lot less of a retelling and more of just you can see the comparisons in some aspects, but almost entirely it is a completely unique story and a completely unique take on it, because it's all from the Sea Witch's point of view, and it's kind of more of like a prequel. So it's leading up to the events of The Little Mermaid, and then Sea Witch Rising, actually, I am only 30 minutes into the book so far, so not very far, because I believe it's like a 10-hour book-ish. It's like 9.5 hours or something, so I'm not that far into the book. I'm like maybe 10%, not even, and but so far this book is a lot more true to the retelling format, but I know because the author came and actually, she joined the book group that I admin, or I'm one of the admin of, which is Words and Whimsy on Facebook, and she came and she chatted with us for about an hour about her books, and she let us know that the beginning is more of a retelling, but that it won't be as much of a retelling as the story progresses. So I'm still in the retelling stage of the book. I'm not sure when exactly it's going to degenerate it, but she said, and I quote, "It all goes to shit." So interested to see what exactly is going to go horribly wrong. And I know it's also based, set in the time period of World War I, I believe, or is it World War II? One of the world wars it's set in the time period of. So I think that is a really interesting lens to look at the story through, and I'm really excited to get to read more of it. Other update that's kind of related to the audiobook is that I recently increased my audiobook speed that I listen at. So I don't know if you guys like to listen to your audiobooks at like a faster than normal reading speed. Let me know in the comment section below if you do. But I had been listening to my audiobooks at 1.5 times speed, and I just increased it when I bought this book to 1.7 times the speed, or 1.75 times the speed. So I like to periodically increase my reading speed on Audible, so that way I can, not sponsored, so that way I can try to read faster, because I mean, if I can read faster, I can get through my TBR faster, which is just like the dream right there. Being able to read more books in the same amount of time is just, you know, what I want, what I'm going for, and I know a lot of readers are kind of going for that. So if you haven't tried listening to your audiobooks speed faster, you totally should. And if you haven't tried out audiobooks, you definitely should, because it's great to be able to read while you're doing other things. So like when I'm doing book painting, I'll be listening to an audiobook, or when I'm driving in the car or doing some dishes, or just things that you wouldn't normally be able to read a book doing. just being able to listen to one, although I'm sure you all already know about audiobooks by now. But just in case you haven't given them a shot yet, if you think they're not for you, I would say just listen to some samples. Maybe it'll surprise you, because I really didn't think it was my thing either. Actually, before I go, I will tell you about one of the other books I bought. I recently purchased The Priory of the Orange Tree. That was one of the other audiobooks I bought, and I haven't started it yet because I'm reading a different audiobook right now, but it is a massive tome. It's like 25 hours long, I think, something like that. I don't know exactly how many pages that translates to, but I know it's a big book. Like, she's thick. So I don't know if any of you guys have read it, but I know my friends highly recommend it, and I've heard that it's a great book, so I am definitely looking forward to checking it out, and I like the sounds of the e-reader. I like the sounds of the audiobook reader because they have a really interesting accent, and I haven't really listened to many books with that sort of an accent, so I'm definitely excited about checking it out there. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end my update for you for the week, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys!